Hey. Hi. I'm having to use my little countertop, tabletop stand tripod because my regular tripod, well, it is no longer, anyway, it's broken. Got to go get another one. But this one here needs to be done, as we saw in last Saturday's strolling video. So I'm going to do my best to show you guys what I am doing. And this one is broke, so I am taking out any of the stakes that I had. But this is the Spring Fragrance Paradise. I purchased it from my local garden center, Nick's, I think it was in 2020. It was a very gorgeous plant. I grew it outside for 2 years, and ever since I brought it in after the growing season of 2023, she has just quickly done nothing. We do have, let me see if I can get it closer. I just have to be careful because this thing is not as steady as a regular tripod would be. But we do have several new growths. So if we look over here, we have this new growth, and then it is branching a new growth here, and then we have a new growth right here. I have 2 new growths in this section. I don't see anything back here, but on this side, we have this new growth, which I don't know how well it's growing, and I don't know how well you can see that. There we go. And then I have a nice little new growth down here. And the roots, she's attempted to grow roots off of the new growths. They're just not going down into the media. Sorry about that, but I do have my windows open. It's a beautiful day today here in Cattleya. I'll edit that out if I can. And, oh no, we have nothing. Look, she just came right on out of the pot. Those roots are dead. I will be reusing this media because obviously it is still good. Don't know what I'm going to do with her quite yet. And since all of these are dead, I am not even going to bother trying to loosen anything. We are just going to take our sterilized clippers here. And I think what I'll do is I will cut, let's see. Let me just cut this main portion here so I can get that part out, and then we'll see what we have. So what should we cut? So I want to leave this part on to help support this section here, and then maybe, okay, let me put these down. So I want to keep this cane to support, and this little small cane here, and probably cut that off, but to help support these 2 new growths here, because as you can see, she's trying to grow roots, and I do have a little bit of root tip on both of them. I don't know if you can, how well you can see those new root tips trying to come out. So let's do that. So we're going to just cut right here, and I don't use this one very often, sorry guys, but nice and clean. And I forgot the cinnamon, so I will get the cinnamon. Hold on, be right back. Thought I had everything, apparently not. All right, so now we have our cinnamon, and I'm just going to very carefully, without getting any on the roots, just kind of seal off the base down there. Tip off any of the excess. And, you know, we'll leave this cane on as well, even though there's not a lot of energy in there. But I think these 2 are going to need all the energy they can get. So there's one piece. And I do have a pot over here, possibly, that we'll use. We'll just have to wait and see what we end up with. Now, this one has 3 growths. So we have this one, and like I said, there's a little branch here. And she is a climber. And if these pieces survive, I will probably end up putting it on a mount because of the climbing habit of this one. Of course, I'll have to get some more mounts. And because we do have quite the root activity, I think what we'll do is perhaps maybe just, what do we do? Okay, we're going to cut this section off. And I know that probably could have helped her, but let's see. This cane is pretty much gone, so let's just cut that one off as well to make more space. There we go. Oops, everything did all the way through. Nice clean cut, and still, so it's not the dreaded disease that we're always looking for. And I'll just cut all of these dead roots off while we are here. And there. Let's see, is this root? Yeah, that one's gone too. That one is gone too. Of course, with me doing all these cuts, I may end up with new growth shooting out from here. And this cane, it feels like it's broken, but I'm going to leave it on because she does have some leaves on there to help, you know, provide these ladies right here with some strength. So that gives us 2 pieces. And let's get the big one back out. And if you look back here, let me dip that one in the cinnamon real quick. Put that down. Without getting any on the roots, if at all possible. That's the goal. So I'm just gonna, oh, I just got cinnamon everywhere, but that's all right. We'll just put it on this one, like so. Well, maybe like so. This one, I don't really like this one because it doesn't angle down far enough for what I like to show you guys. There we go. All right, so got cinnamon on that one. We'll let that settle in. That is garbage. All right, so back here, I was going to show you guys before I remembered the cinnamon. We have, oh, I said we don't, oh no, it's this one that we don't have any growth on this back section here. I'm not even going to attempt to save any of that. So that part will go in le garbage, but I do have 1, 2, well, it looks like we have this one, which again doesn't seem to be too strong, and then we have these 2 right here. So I'm going to cut right down under here and see what is left once we do that. So let's get that part cut first, and those are dead roots. So this is the section that's going to go into the bin. It's such a shame. She was such a beautiful, beautiful plant. If you look at some of my videos where we looked at her when she was outside last year, she didn't look that happy, but the year before of 2022, oh my goodness, she looked gorgioso. Gorgioso. This is another reason I'm kind of not wanting to grow outside right now, especially when I work 14 hours a day. That includes travel time. I don't work 14 hours and then come home, but and I think if you grow outside, I'm gonna have to cut this because this is the one that's broken, and it's just, I'm just gonna cut it off. But I feel like if you grow outside, you should have the time to really maintain water, you know, pest control, that kind of thing. By the time I would get home, I'm just too tired from driving. I drive an hour to work and an hour from work on Mondays and Wednesdays. And even though the driving isn't stressful, the traffic is. And that just wears you out, you know? So when you get home, you just want to hurry up and spray them down and then just relax. And that is not fair to other ladies. So I don't think I'm going to grow outside this year. I've kind of made that decision after seeing this, what was once a gorgeous lady. Oh, she has an eye. We have an eye. I don't know how well you can see that. The lighting in here is horrible. But I needed to do it on the counter and not sitting. I needed to stand for this one. Let's see. And yeah, this section here is gone. Let's just take the sheaths off so we can, yep, it broke. It was already broked, but that's okay. Maybe this will encourage another shoot. So I'm just gonna cut that portion off there. Leave the sheathing on there. And I'm thinking I should probably separate these 2 as well. Or, because then I can get this piece closer to the media, so when those roots come out, because if I do them together, it'll have to sit wanky, and I am going to put it in a pot as opposed to, let's see, yeah, we'll do it right here. And guys, I'm just willy-nilly doing this. If you see that I'm doing something right, I mean, it's going to be a little too late, but at least I'll know for future reference. But I'm kind of just going by instinct and what I think will be best for this lady and each growth, because it's just the one growth, and this one is fairly mature. I mean, she's not going to be the healthiest, but this piece does have the 2 leaves, so I'm hoping that maybe it'll encourage some growth for roots. So now that's 3 pieces, and then where's the other one? That's not. And then this one has the 1 leaf with the 1 cane that I can just kind of set her in to the media as well, because you can see she's growing roots, and there are tips, growth tips trying to start, so get it in the media sooner rather than later. And that root is dead, so I will cut that piece off, and then we will give this one some cinnamon here. There we are. Put that one to the side. So let me get all this stuff cleaned up, and then we'll figure out how they're going to go into a 1 pot. Be right back. So I did grab some moss as well. I forgot to tell you guys that, because I am going to put some moss at the very top layer before the last part of the bark. Now, initially I was thinking to maybe tie them together, but as we know, there is a possibility that since I chopped, there is a possibility that we might get new growth off of some of these, and I don't want to tie them together and then prohibit any new growth from coming off of these canes. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually just kind of pot them close together in the center, and I'm just going to stake them, because I do have my little bamboo skewers here. I'm just going to stake them in individually and see how that works out. But because there are no roots, we do need to, and I put large bark at the bottom just to help with extra drainage. And the mix they're going in is a combination of the large perlite, there is some fern bark, some Orchiata bark. So the media that's in here is all Orchid Supply Store, minus this large perlite. This is just some stuff I already had when I initially put her in here. And as you can see, this bark is still really nice and firm, even though it is about 2 years old. And it is because this lady has not been getting a lot of water, because there's not a lot that's been going on. And these roots are a little longer than I thought. So let me get the ones with the longer roots in first, and then we'll worry about the ones that have less roots. Okay, so we're going to put that one about right here. And I think this one I'm just going to clip. There we go. So that one is going to go right here. Just kind of, I need you to stay right there for a second. And the moss is dry, and I'm using it dry because I did cut into, and I'm not going to water this at least for 24 hours. Even though it has the cinnamon on there, I don't want to wash the cinnamon off. I want it to do what it's going to do, which is kind of seal those cuts prior to me going and putting some water in here. Let's see, and then that one, let's see, let's do that one. Oop. Let's do that one about right here. Okay. Yep. And then I'll probably, let me just do it this way. Give it a little more space just in case we get a new growth. And she's going to kind of be suspended in the air there. But we're going to clip her as well with this. So these two are going to go right there like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some moss in here underneath. So when you do this, you just want to do it very gently. The cool thing is I can just move her around the way I need her to go. And what the moss is for is it kind of helps, since it stays wet a little bit longer, it'll help create some humidity to help those roots kind of search for it. And that's the theory, but my Horse Maxima crossed with Potnera Dick Smith. That's what I did with that in November, I believe, of 22. And as we saw in the Saturday stroll, she does have a sheath. Now, is she going to bloom? Who knows? But we're closer than we were. And I've had that one since 2019, and she hardly grew any roots. And that's kind of was my last ditch effort. And since then, I have kind of been using this as my gold standard, if you will, of trying to get some roots to come in. So if you have an orchid that is struggling with roots, perhaps, oh, you know what? Let's put this one right here to help even make that a little more sturdy. Perhaps maybe that's something you can try with yours. So far, knock on wood, and I would knock on my head if I could, but I'm kind of in the middle of this. I've kind of had 100% success rate with the orchids that I've done that in, that had the potential. Now, I have done it with others that didn't quite make it, but I think they were already kind of on the downward decline anyway. Not saying that, you know, there wasn't something else I did, but that's just my theory. All right, and then this one doesn't have any roots, but this one does. So we will stake this one. So this one here has a few little roots, and we'll put it over here on this side, right here. If I can get it down there, there we go. Kind of stand it up a little bit. And then I'm gonna wrap that leaf through, kind of help it hold steady everything else, and we'll wrap it around the pot, or not the pot, but the stake. And then put you right there, and I'll probably clip this one too. So far, been able to clip them, which is good. I'd rather clip than use the ties, actually, to be honest. And then I'll put just the wee amount of moss on by those roots as well. Again, just to kind of help encourage some root growth there. And then this last one has absolutely not a root, insoit. So we are going to, let's see, kind of spread you out there. We'll put that one right, you know what, we'll put that, ooh. No. We don't need all that now. We'll just put that one kind of in the center, this way, like literally in the center. If I can get it to kind of go like that, and then I can use this one to help support it. Let's see if I can push it in without damaging the new growth. So this way, now that new growth is going to be sitting with the media kind of right up underneath it, and then hopefully that will encourage the roots to go straight on down into the pot instead of all off to the side and wanky. And I'm going to try to leave a couple of these on the outside so I can monitor, but again, there's not much left to monitor. Ooh, I think I see another eye coming too, so it's probably me just wishing. Okay, and I know she looks a little scraggly, but that's okay. Hopefully over time she'll fix herself. Maybe I've caught this in time. I probably should have done this at the beginning of the year instead of saying, oh, I'm just not going to touch her for this growing season, and then we'll dig into her next growing season, because she actually was a lot healthier at the beginning of this growing season of 2024. And I'm pretty sure I waited too long, and I set her back several years. I'm pretty sure about that. But she has these beautiful, if I remember, white flowers with this, oh, the scent on them are just amazing. When it says spring pleasure, it did not lie. Like, it is such an amazing scent. It's your usual Cattleya, but not super rosy. It was more like a high-end sweet perfume, if you will. Not the overpowering, like, sugary sweet. I don't know how to describe it, but it was just beautiful. And if it wasn't for the fact that I love that scent, I probably would not be trying to save this orchid, to be honest with you. Probably would not be trying to save it. But the scent on this one, and the blooms aren't bad either. The blooms are pretty, but the scent is what got me to buy her, because she was in bloom when I purchased her. And oh my goodness, they were so scented. But here we are a few years later, and she's trying to recover from my lack of taking good care of her. So that is all that is boiled down to, is I just did not care for her the way I should have. I should have brought her back inside when she started going downhill outside last year in 23. But I was like, oh, she'll be fine. She'll be fine. Well, she wasn't. Or at least checked on her when I brought her in. I think that probably could have helped her a little bit too, because then I would have realized that the roots that she went outside with, she did not come back inside with. Somehow she decided she was going to leave them outside, which I did not very much appreciate. All right, now let's see. I'm not going to put in any slow release fertilizer at the moment. There's really no need. I do have some mycorrhizal fungi that I did add in when I put the large bark in. And I will leave her, like I said, for 24 hours, kind of see, let it seal off all of the cuts. And then we will just have to continue monitoring her. So if you want to watch and see if she makes it, she's going to make it. We're going to put that out there. I've already written a plea to the fairies to forgive me. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video, and I will see you next time.